Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And finally, picking up and getting my hands on this book, which is going to require an immense amount of study to begin to figure it out. But it seems that this is a part of many books that are all a part of the Babylonian Talmud. All right. And, and if you notice too, it's written in Hebrew and in the Assyrian script Hebrew. And you notice there's no dots and all that stuff that was added in the late 1800s by Eliezer ben Yehudi, when he basically changed Hebrew, and they now speak Yiddish, because what they're doing is they're speaking a German Slavic language mixed with Hebrew, and they use the Hebrew characters and they add all those dots, so it makes them, so when you're unlearned, it makes them look legitimate, as if they're actually, but they're using the Hebrew characters, but they're speaking another language, which makes the words pronounced completely and totally different, because they're frauds. Matter of fact, let's get a scripture. First one is going to be Deuteronomy 4. The point is in 2, but I'm starting 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which the Lord power, with Yahweh power of your fathers, giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power which I command you. And they, and so Esau, Edom, being the fraudsters they are, they did exactly that. This is Zechariah 9 and 6. All right. And it reads, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Ashdod is modern day Tel Aviv. And the word bastard, synonym to that word would be, one will be for fraud, one will be false. All right. So it basically deceit. So you have a fraudulent people in the land of Israel claiming to be the people of the Lord, using a book that is completely not biblical. Because what I have in front of me is I have this book in my possession. I'm holding on to it. Let me in my hands, and there it is. All right, I'm actually holding the book. I have a copy of it. And I opened it right to something that was very interesting, talking about the spoiler. All right. And it relates this, and this is on page 3B, because it reads from right to left. So they really did copy and mimic, the ancient way. But 3B, paragraph 2, it talks about the spoiler. All right. What it meant by Mabah the Rab said. So Rab, basically, it means rabbi or teacher. Okay. But it actually quotes some of Obadiah, but it's talking about Samuel. All right. In the second paragraph, it says, what is meant by Mab'e, Rab said. Mab'e denotes a man doing damage. But Samuel said, Mab'e signifies tooth of trespassing cattle. So this book is, it seems that things that are contrary to the scriptures. And they're using a Babylonian. Babylonian was a Negroid, for lack of a better word, a melanated, Hamitic peoples, that and they were not pale people at all. So I just find it interesting that they would follow the book of a dark nation of people. Maybe that's why, I remember hearing in the video, Hitler saying something about why you following that Schwarzer religion, meaning that black religion. All right. And that is an interesting question. All right. Why they would choose this book and then add this book to the Bible. All right. Then as you read down, it says, the morning cometh also the night, if you will inquire ye. Samuel, on the other hand, holds that Ma'ab signifies tooth, for it is written, how is Esau searched out? How is hidden places sought out? Well, I know that that's written in the Holy Scriptures in the book of Obadiah. And in the book of Samuel, I don't recall reading anything where Samuel asked those questions. So they're adding unto and taken away from. And here, this is the book from Babylon and Timbuktu, and in this book it clarifies and gives you the matter of fact. I'll read from the because this is a good source of information. It's not the gospel of the Lord, but it's a good source of information. All right. It has some pretty interesting things to say about Shemites, Hamites, and Japhites. No, it didn't say Sem. It said Shemites. All right. Sem is a made-up word. Semite is something that they made up to control a narrative. It's a false narrative. But and on page 16, it even says that Abraham was one of the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Abraham's father, Terah, was from the land of Chaldees. All right. The land of Chaldees was located in the southern part of the Euphrates. The Chaldeans were one of many Cushite tribes, which were Hamites. All right, and it's according to this information, it says Cush means black according to the biblical dictionary. So that's what they wrote in here. Now Cush does mean black, but here it says, but we know that Abraham came from the line of Shem and not the line of Ham. So that's a misinformation. But Shem was also dark. Everyone was dark at that point, to be quite frankly. But here on chapter 1 in this book, Timbuktu, it says, more than 6,000 years ago, in the land called Mesopotamia, there developed the most remarkable civilization then known to mankind. The civilization was centered between the Tigris and the Euphrates River. These rivers began in the mountains of Armenia and flow into the south direction toward the Persian Gulf. The soil in this area was tremendously fertile. They call it the Fervent Crest. And the alluvial deposits brought down to the rivers. European civilizations developed from black civilizations. That part is true. And Europe is in Asia. This whole area, this whole area is pretty much sits in Asia. If you hear the term black Asiatic man, so it says the Europeans developed from black civilization. Without this black civilization, white domination and influence as we know it today would have been improbable. And this is the first paragraph in Ancient Black Civilizations. All right, and when you go to here, so I went to the AI, it tells you that Chaldees, well, let's start with ancient Babylon itself. It says, and I just put in the question, ancient Babylon was Iraq today. And it says, these are the results, AI overview, all right? It says, let me move it over. Yes, the ruins of ancient Babylon is located in present-day Iraq, specifically the site situated near the city of Hela, which is approximately 50 miles south of Baghdad. The city was an important center of ancient Mesopotamian civilization. Now, there are many people in Iraq today that are much darker than I am. And go back 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years. They were just as dark as what you would call Africans today. And the evidence and the relics prove that. All right. These are some of the. Let's go into my evidence folder. Oh, I hadn't shifted those over yet. They're still in the phone that I'm actually using. Salakia. Darn it. Oh, you know what? Here. Found one. I got to shift this over. But here, right here, it says Elamites of Mesopotamia. Look at that. Appear to have Negroid people with kinky hair and have transmitted the racial type to the Jews and Syrians. Their curliness of their hair, and matter of fact, when you saw this, that was really braids. He had cornrows. All right. It says the portraiture of the Assyrian, which conveys the idea of evident Negro element in Babylonia, quite probably a very ancient Negro invasion of Mediterranean. Here we go. They were from there. All right. That's them trying to explain away. All right. That's Esau trying to explain away the presence of Negroid type people, Israelites, and the other dark people of the region. All right. So the evidence gives you something, because there would have been, evidence of an invasion if it was an invasion. The fact of the matter, these are the people from that area. So, because even here it says the ancient Chaldees were Babylon, where Abraham came from. The ancient Chaldees, this is the AI overview, were located in southern Babylonia, which is now known as southern Iraq, specifically in the inhabited marshy land near the head of the Persian Gulf, bordering the Arabian Desert, the Euphrates Delta. Their region, also referred to as the Sea Bit Yakan, or the Sea of the Land of Chaldea. The capital of the Chaldeans was Dur Yakan, or Yakin, where Marduk Baladan originally ruled. And this is the area. This is, all right, on this map. Let's just turn it. All right. When you look at this area, that's what they refer to as the Middle East today. And this was all of Asia. All right. All right. This was Asia. That's Asia Minor. This is Asia. And today they fraudulently and falsely call it the Middle East. And this sits in Asia. All right. That's exactly what you're looking at. It sits in Asia. And according to history and the relics that are found, these people were dark people. So you have to ask yourself, why are the rabbis teaching you from this book? All right, let's go back to the book that I read from. Okay, this is the cover. Why would they be teaching you from a book that came from these dark people? And the Jewish people, the converts, the people in the land of Israel today, they're clearly not the original inhabitants of the area. And then why would you teach, people, teach a doctrine or religion from an area of people that were clearly not your people? All right. The Bible told you not to add unto or take away from. As a matter of fact, he was, let's go to the scriptures. Let's go back to Obadiah, because Samuel You know, if correct me if I'm wrong, brothers. If somebody, you know, I don't remember Samuel questioning anything about how the things of Esau searched out. That was in the book of Obadiah. All right, this is Obadiah 1, and it reads, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom, which have heard the rumor of Yahweh, an ambassador was sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." So that's what's happening. This prophecy is actually proper and happening real time. All right, this Babylonian Talmud stuff, you know, this portion, okay, because I also saw the same book, all right, and it was the tractate of the Sanhedrin. Wish I had that one, because I've heard about the sickness in that, all right, but I'm pretty sure I'll find something in this one as I go through it that I also will use when I do another lesson. But it says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised." That's happening in real time. People, the whole world is basically rising up against the genocide which is being committed by the Israelis, these converts, these imposters that are in the land of Israel. All right, and it says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle." Oh, Salakia. It says, verse 3, "The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, saith that saith in his heart, meaning in his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground?" And now you have this movement in America, okay, where they're really pushing, you know, this white nationalism, and they're tired of blackness, you know. That's and the crazy thing is that the average white nationalist is completely and totally against the Israelis, because the Israelis, and then you have the rabbis, okay, that are pointing out these white nationalists, so-called self-proclaimed white nationalists, in which they're making it even illegal for you to say that word. Same as you know, you can't say the J-E-W word often. They're trying to do the same thing with whiteness now. But the rabbis are pointing out that these so-called white Christians in America are Esau, Edom. That's what the rabbis are saying. So I'm thinking when he's saying how the things are searched out, and then I'm thinking about all these many videos of these rabbis pointing out that America is the new Babylon, that America is going to be destroyed because they are the descendants of the Romans, the descendants of the Greeks, who were the people who became the Greeks and the Romans. Remember, the Edomites took it over through Alexander. All right, Alexander was an Edomite. As a matter of fact, Alexander was an Amalekite. So I just find it strange that these rabbis are pointing out white Christianity as being Esau, or being Asaph, Edom, when they too are Esau, Edom, and then teaching from books that had nothing to do with their people. Remember, the Babylonian, the Talmud, it was a dark race of people, Hamitic people, that were living in Asia, in Asia Minor. Okay, because it tells you right there in the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible that the Egyptians and their sons thought of Asia as still part of their province, even though it was a whole other continent. They were living in that land. That's why it was, when it was promised to Abraham, the Israelites went and removed those several Hamitic tribes from Asia Minor, or from what they refer to as the Middle East today. Okay, that's what happened in the Bible. And so what these people are doing is they're adding to and taking away from. As a matter of fact, and the Lord warned you about it twice in both the New and the Old Testament. So I'm going to go to the Old Testament and read that, but let me finish this. In Obadiah, it says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh." If these came in, because that goes back to this, is referring to the spoilator, all right? It's Edom is the spoilator, and that means, here's the etymon online dictionary: robbery, plunder, loot, all right? Spoliation, Anglo-French, spoliation from the Latin, splotted. Oh, I don't speak Latin, so sorry. But spoilatio, a robbing, plundering, pillaging, noun of the action from the past, stem from spoiler, to plunder, rob. And that's how Esau, Edom, it says, by the sword thou shalt live. All right. So the way we search out the things of Esau is through the Holy Scriptures. It says, if these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Well, you can't go to the Sanhedrin or the Baba Kama, all right? Or the Baba Kama, because sometimes they add a B, and sometimes a V. You can't go to that to find the truth about Esau, Edom. You're going to go to the Holy Scriptures, all right? So let's go to Revelation 22. And at the end of the book, all right, it tells you, Revelation 22 and 18. And this Yahushua speaking, all right? And it says, this was, the angel speaking in behalf of Yahushua. It says, for I testify unto every man that hear the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. That's why Esau, Edom is falling. They're being exposed and they're falling. It says, if any man shall take away from these words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part in the book of life and out of the holy cities and from the things which are written in this book. All right, so you Israelites that follow these false doctrines, well, your name is not going to be written in the book of life. You're going to have to die in the second death. And the second death is well on its way. It's in the midst of happening. It comes in the midst of this third world's war, and the world is on the verge of that. All right. Verse 20, which he testified these things, saith, surely I come quickly. A man even so come. Even so come, Lord Yahushua. All right. So Yahushua is on his way. The man of sin, the son of perdition, who is Esau Edom, is being exposed, and it is not with the Trekek Baba Kama or any portion of the Babylonian Talmuds. All right. So with that, until the next lesson. Because I definitely plan to do, go into this book a little bit more and show some more evidence of fraud, lies, and exposure on Esau, Edom. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekah, Quadash, Kwam, Yasharala, Abad, Babal.